What's up guys, Mickle here, and in this video, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, which is LBRY losing their case against the SEC at summary judgment. Guys, in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this decision, how it's going to impact the Ripple case. I'm going to give you guys the bad, the ugly, but guys, even the good that's going to come out of this. I have a ton of very important information to share with you guys about this ruling, and I think it's going to give you guys a much better idea of how this summary judgment loss by LBRY is going to impact the Ripple SEC case. Guys, make sure to stick around to the end of the video though, because something very strange did in fact happen that I really want to show you guys. So guys, make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Trust me, this is a video you are not going to want to miss. Like always guys, your support means so much to this channel. If you want to see more videos just like this, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below and turn on bell notifications. These three simple things will go such a long way in helping this channel grow, and it really does mean so much to me. If you guys are ever looking for a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out the link for Uphold down in the description below. Uphold is my favorite exchange and a great place to buy and sell XRP. With that said though guys, let's jump right into the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. Real quick guys, you do not want to miss out on the insane promotion moomoo is running right now. If you sign up with moomoo right now using the link in the description of this video, you could win up to 15 free stocks, and your chance of winning a share of Tesla is actually doubled right now. You will also get $10 put directly into your account by moomoo. And guys, moomoo has some great features. They have advanced charting tools, a great way to visualize companies' financials, and even real-time level 2 market data. So guys, do not miss out on this promotion. Go get your free stocks, go get your $10, and sign up with moomoo now using the link in the description of this video. So guys, let's jump right into the video. And for those of you who have been watching this channel for a while now, you would know that I have been saying that I thought LBRY was going to lose this case. Now, I didn't necessarily think LBRY was going to lose this case because the LBRY token was a security. I thought they were going to lose the case because they got really unlucky on their judge. They had an older guy as their judge who seemed to have a very hard time understanding cryptocurrencies, and because of that, after reading his analysis for why he deemed the LBRY token a security, it seemed like he came to that conclusion without really understanding some very significant things that would help someone understand why the LBRY token wasn't a security. What he really saw was something of value that LBRY was selling to the market, something that LBRY had a lot of, that LBRY was using to help fund their whole operation, and pretty much he just saw this thing as something he thought should be a security. The main reason he really made this determination was he even said this in his brief. He didn't want to undermine securities laws in the US. He saw this new thing he's never seen before. There was no case law on it, and because of that, he said, I'm going to declare this thing a security because I don't want companies in the future just to spin up some random token with some utility and say, oh, because it has a tiny bit of utility, we can avoid all SEC rules going forward. Now, I do see where this guy is coming from because he didn't understand the most important things about cryptocurrencies, and honestly, I hate to say it, but it's kind of LBRY's fault. The LBRY legal team didn't break this down in a simple way for him to understand. I do think there was an avenue for LBRY to win this case, but they didn't take the appropriate steps to do it. I think it would have been very hard to make this judge understand that cryptocurrencies are not securities, but I think it was possible with the right legal team. Unfortunately for LBRY, their legal team spent a long time not explaining to the judge the difference between the sale of a cryptocurrency, which could be a securities transaction, and the token itself. I think LBRY wanted to go for the massive win. They wanted LBRY to be declared not a security and make it so all their sales of LBRY also weren't securities. Because of LBRY going for this massive win, I think it actually kind of overwhelmed the judge, and in the end, he made the simple decision, which was for him saying that the LBRY token itself is a security and not even differentiating between the sales and the token itself. Now, this is pretty bad because we understand that you can sell anything in the world like a security. I could sell you my car like a security. I could sell you my iPhone like a security. But the LBRY team just didn't break this down in detail to the judge, and how this is just such a massive predicament where you can't just say because something was sold like a security, the asset itself is a security. And because of this, LBRY really did get the short end of the stick, and it ended up being declared that all LBRY tokens are a security purely because of the way the LBRY team offered them. So now let's talk about what's on everyone's mind and how will this impact the ongoing Ripple SEC case. So first of all, there is zero doubt in my mind that the SEC will be filing this evidence to the Ripple SEC case. Now let's point out the first very important thing, which is that the judge in the Ripple SEC case does not have to listen to any of this. She doesn't even have to read it. I think she will read it, but she doesn't have to listen to any of it, which is very important. If this court case was actually on the same level of the court in the Ripple SEC case, then Judge Torres, the judge in the Ripple SEC case, would actually have to listen to everything said in this filing and actually follow it, and that could be devastating for Ripple. So it's actually very good news that this decision on LBRY came from a lower level court, and we are very lucky about that. I also want to point out that we are very lucky that the LBRY decision is happening so late in the Ripple SEC case. Now, obviously, it would be a lot better if it happened after the Ripple SEC case, but it's also good that it's happening pretty late because we've already allowed Judge Torres to develop her decision or develop her thoughts on what she thinks XRP is. She's already seen so much evidence in this case and likely already has a pretty good idea of how she's going to rule. I don't think she's just going to change her mind because some old guy in New Hampshire who didn't understand cryptocurrencies made a judgment that wasn't very specific and didn't even break down many of the key issues in the Ripple SEC case. I think it's pretty obvious to Judge Torres at this point that the issue of whether or not a cryptocurrency is a security or not is a lot less relevant than actually distinguishing between the sale of a cryptocurrency and the cryptocurrency itself. The fact that the LBRY judge didn't even touch on this is a huge issue, and I think it's going to make it hard for Judge Torres to follow any of this opinion. Now, another very important reason why I think Ripple is actually in a much better place is because they actually argued their case from a very different perspective, and this is super important to understand. What the LBRY team did is they actually came into the case and said, hey, LBRY is not a security because it does not pass the Howey test. If that sounds similar to what Ripple is doing, just wait because I'm going to make it very easy to understand, and it's actually Ripple doing something much different. The big problem with LBRY saying that LBRY does not pass the Howey test is the Howey test has actually gotten very watered down, and there's a whole bunch of different interpretations of this. Because of this, it's very easy for a judge to look at one of the many interpretations and say, oh, maybe it doesn't fit into this Howey test, but it kind of fits into this other one, and this is kind of what happened to LBRY. Even though it didn't look like LBRY fit into the initial Howey test, it kind of fit into some other derivatives of it, and because of that, LBRY kind of got screwed over. On the other hand, though, Ripple is arguing something very different in their case, and because of this, it's going to make it really hard for Judge Torres to even listen to the LBRY decision. And that's because Ripple is actually arguing that you can't even do the Howey test on XRP because there's no investment contract to start with. This was a big problem with how LBRY argued their case. They kind of automatically assumed there was an investment contract between investors and LBRY by doing the Howey analysis to start with. Ripple is saying you can't even do the Howey analysis because the Howey analysis only applies to investment contracts and there is no investment contract here. So because Ripple is bringing their case in such a fundamentally different way, I don't think Judge Torres is going to be able to use any of the information from this case to apply to the Ripple SEC case, which is very, very good news for all of us. Now, because of all the reasons I just mentioned, I think it is highly unlikely that the LBRY SEC case will have any kind of devastating impact on the Ripple SEC case, and it looks like most of the lawyers tend to agree with me. John Deaton, Jeremy Hogan, and a lot of the other lawyers out there following the Ripple SEC case don't seem to think that this is any kind of devastating loss. They think in a worst case scenario, Judge Torres could look at it and it could influence her decision, but I think everyone is kind of on board with the idea that we are just way too deep into the Ripple SEC case for Judge Torres to have her mind completely changed. And at the end of the day, guys, Judge Torres has been awesome. She's been very understanding of cryptocurrencies, and because of that, I think it's going to be a lot more obvious to her that a token like XRP is not a security. With all of that said, though, I want to show you guys some other pretty interesting things that did come out today relating to this case. First of all, we did not see a single trade association for the cryptocurrency industry do anything to support LBRY. Guys, this is pretty embarrassing, and places like Coin Center, the Digital Chamber, and the Blockchain Association should all be embarrassed that they did absolutely nothing to help LBRY in this case. With that said, a lot of people are saying that this does make a settlement more likely. And while I really didn't see this logic at first, I kind of see what people are talking about. Ripple has been winning this case this entire time, and all the pressure has been on the SEC. This is the SEC's first real big win, and Ripple might be a little more nervous that Judge Torres could make a decision just like the LBRY judge did. Now, I don't think this is a high probability, and I think Ripple knows that, but it just shows judges can do anything, even if it seems like all the facts are aligned with a certain party to win. This might make it more likely for Ripple to actually push for a settlement, and obviously we know there are so many different reasons for why the SEC would want to settle. Obviously, they don't want to make the Hinman emails public. They have a whole bunch of other crazy things going on in this case that they're probably going to lose on. So this might allow the parties to come together and actually have more incentive to settle the case. Now, I'm not fully committed on this idea, but a lot of people are talking about it, and I do see where they're coming from. And I want to finish this off by showing you one last pretty crazy thing. Now, I don't think this is really anything. I think it's just a coincidence. But either way, the LBRY case actually lasted exactly 589 days. So guys, is that a sign of something to come? I highly doubt it, but either way, that is pretty crazy. Now, guys, like I said earlier in the video, it sucks. I feel bad for anyone invested in LBRY. I wanted them to win. Unfortunately, they got a very short end of the stick with their judge. We are so lucky that we have a good judge that understands cryptocurrency. I think she's going to get the Ripple case right. I don't think there's anything to worry about. I hope it helped you guys understand all the craziness going on right now. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys all have a great night. And for now, Mickle out.